So this is 18.5 default workspace. I'm going to talk a little bit about workspace in Houdini. So for example, if somehow uh, when you are experimenting and you deleted all of this and you are like so lost about the workspace, then nothing to worry. You all need to go to the on the top menu bar. There's a build. If you click there, you can always set this reload current desktop, so it comes back to the default one. And there are other preset workspaces, just like in Photoshop, the essential and photo or retouching and stuff. So we have in Houdini as well, there is a preset of whatever you want to do. If you're into games, you can click there, then your workspace will be basically according to the game builder. So build is the default one, and it's a good start workspace. Also, if you have any favorite of if for example, if you delete all these, then if you go here, save the current desktop as, click there and give it a name or something, and you save it, then here you have it. Here you have it, reload to current desktop. So I got the current desktop back. Now let's talk about viewport. So for that, we need to drop something, right? In the viewport, here on the network side, you can see it's empty network, so we have to drop something, isn't it? And also you can notice there's an object, it's written, which I'll get back after talking about viewport. So here you can see there's like press tab to add object. That's like a shortcuts thing. There are inbuilt geometries inside Houdini. Those are here. If you don't know what all are there, those are here. So to show you how the viewport works. I'll drop in a box. If I click there, I get to see that right now I'm not pressing anything. It's just the mouse hovering. So if I click, it will drop like wherever I want to drop. I'll just click and it drops the box for me. So voila, I clicked it, and yeah. So now you can notice it has given me a note saying that box object 1 with the translation, with the settings which I clicked. So it says like translate -0. So x-axis and green is y-axis, and z is z-axis, x, y, z. All right, so that's the position of where the geometry, where this box is located. I'm not going further about this side. I'm just going to show you the navigation and how you can adjust the how you can view the viewport basically. So if you notice here, like before that, I want to tell you, if you come somewhere here between this no network parameter and the viewport, there's a line. So that is basically a border where you can adjust your room. Basically, you can expand it or shrink it, whatever. So viewport. So if you know 3D software before, then you can skip this side, because what I'm going to tell you is basically it's there in all 3D softwares. Yeah, skip if you want. Right. So this is Gizmo. What you see, that thing is called Gizmo. Um, so you can see green, blue and red, same as like this, green, blue and red. So XYZ. So you can, if you want to spin in a Z direction, you can rotate this way. You can, if you want Y, then this. You can likewise, even the moving button also the same. Accordingly, you can, this is for transforming and this round is for rotating. bottom left, there's like origin of the 3D world, right? So this is how you control your object with the gizmo. So if you want individual, then of course this green, this three color is what shows here. And if you want individual, like if you want to move, then you go here, hover over, you can see move T is written there. So if you click that, then you can move. And when there is in between, in next there is like a rotate R, the shortcut is R. It's up to you if you want to press R or this. So the last one I'll press the shortcut key. So it's E. Scale is E. Scale means, of course, I believe you know scaling is, if I press E, because I know it's E because it's written there, scale E. So there is this thing. This is called scaling. I think if you use Photoshop, you can understand scaling. So which axis you want it? X axis. Red is X, blue is Z, and yellow, green is Y. But if you want uniform, then you go to the middle, so you can see that it's written XYZ. So that's how you can increase the scale of your geometry, right? So now I'll tell you some shortcuts. Shortcuts key for looking the 3D world, 3D space. So Alt is the hero, right? Alt. So shortcut for the viewport is different for every 3D softwares. I don't know why they don't make it universal, but yeah, that's none of our business. So in Houdini, everything is Alt. So if you hold down Alt and right click, not right click, left click, then you can rotate, and it's like a orbit tool in After Effects. So you can rotate or pan everything. And if you right click, then you can zoom in and out. Zoom in and out as you move. You have to all hold, by the way. So Alt and right click, hold, so you can move things out. And also there's another easy for zoom in and out. It's scrolling wheel, scrolling up and down by pressing Alt, of course. So Alt is everything. Alt and left click, and Alt and right click, and scrolling, Alt and scrolling, and Alt and middle mouse is to pan. That's it about the shortcut keys of this. And what are these? Is magnet snapping, basically. All this 1, 2, 3, 4 is a snapping tool, like a magnet. If I click this one, if you hover over, you can see grid snapping. So it's basically grid snapping it actually.
So what is grid in 3D? So grids are two-dimensional arrays of lines similar to a graph paper. So this is paper graph. I hope you remember. If not, I think you're failed. Yeah, so in maths, I think in 8th grade or we start learning this, I guess. So we know that this is a positive and negative x, x and y. So it's the same thing in 3D software as well. Look at this. Oh, by the way, this is a new window, new Houdini. That's why there's nothing over here. So you see here, it's the same graph paper you see, which we call it as a grid. So this is a plain grid. You can, if you ask me why it is there, since this is a real world and you don't know where the ground is, so I think that's the main reason of keeping a grid plane here. This just give us a value, that's it, nothing much. Just give it a value, like, and where the numbers are, like what position we are, just to know where exactly we are located in this 3D world. Right now we are in a perspective view. So perspective view is like our eye, so mouse is our eye. So as we, like, as we see, we can see the 3D world back and front and forth and everywhere, right? So There is also, you can change perspective. uh, if you know 3D software, so this is a waste of time listening. You can skip. Other first time users, you can go here, you can see set view, so you have plenty of options of viewing. So if you see, like, it's like this one is a friend view. Voila. So now you'll be thinking, like, no, the ground was in the perspective view, the ground is here, and the front view should be like this, right? You'll be thinking, okay, this should be the front view. Then why it has a grid over there as well. I'll drop a box again, and I will just for the training purpose, I'll just color it. Yeah, I'm ready with the color. Just color it so that you have a better understanding, like why when we face to the front view, it's not showing front. Actually, it is showing you the front. You see, XYZ, so it's showing you the front. So grid has all the planes, like this grid has all the plane, but in the perspective view we only see it has a ground. But if you go to the top view, again you get the same grid. So even the top view also has this, like, size representation. Basically, like, you can size it, like, if you have some. So if I click, I can just size it to 1 if I want, right? So if you go to the perspective view, I get the size, and from the top angle it is 1. If you want to position exactly to the ground, you can see this is X and this is Y axis, just like your maths X and Y. Go to the move tool, and you can pull it up and keep it exactly. You can scroll in and keep it, exactly on the ground. So now if you go to the perspective, yeah, see, it's on the ground, right? Top view, front view, side view. Side, you have two side, right and left. You have two, where you have front and back. So basically that's much about grid. Grid is two-dimensional area of lines, similar to graph. That in Max, what do you do, like, you can get exact value, right, according to the two, or you can say, this is 2x and this is 2y. So, right, you can toggle on and off from here. Suppose this is irritating you or something, on and off. This grid plane is for, as a guide of world, guide of 3D position.
So if it's there, then I can, when I move, it just snaps to the grid. Like if I am up, so suppose if I am up here and I want to snap on the ground, see, it snapped on the ground. So it's basically happened because of the pivot position. So pivot is what recognize the snapping things. So this is called pivot, by the way, pivot point. This Gizmo is a tool, and pivot is like XYZ. This origin is called pivot.
So what is pivot point? For AI and Photoshop Illustrator user, pivot point is very easy to explain. Pivot point is anchor point. So whoever is the first time, user, I'll tell you. So I have a picture, I got it from online, and I have a pin also, got it from them. This is Photoshop, by the way, it's not Houdini. Okay, so what is anchor point, right? So for example, you have, this is the wall, and is this a frame, you want to keep it, and you then um you pinned it here. Okay, it's a wall, all right, there's a wall and the frame, and you pinned it. And if you want to move, so if it is pinned here, it has to move. So it has to move this way and this way, right, when we rotate. So as a default, Photoshop anchor point, or this is what is called anchor point in a 2D program. It is anchor point, but in 3D it's called pivot point. So we have to keep it here, just like that. So now if you rotate, we get that, like a pinned version of that. So similarly, if you keep it, um, on the middle, on the middle, this pin is just a representation, just a picture representation, okay, like to make you understand more on what is anchor point. So now I keep the anchor point somewhere there so that it feels like, you pinned it here. So now if you move, see, it's a different rotation movement, right? See, so as a default, it will be on the center, so it moves like this. So now it's like moving like this. So this is pivot point and the use of pivot point. So here it is. Anchor point or pivot point is a reference on how the element will rotate, scale, and move around the screen. All right. So that is pivot point. How does pivot point is helpful in 3D application? Is that I'll show you. So I arranged some nodes. We haven't reached in the node session yet, so I'll explain it when I start teaching you node. All right, so here you can see pivot transform, so you can actually transform the pivot point to wherever you want. So as you can see now, so if I move it up here and my magnet tool is on, so now if I try to snap on the grid, boom, it snapped, but the position is different. See, it is located in the middle. As the pivot point is located in the middle, it snapped in the middle. So how can we change that? So I'll show you. So I move this up and I'll change the pivot position. So to do that, in order to get the exact in the middle, I mean in the bottom, I'll take a different perspective view, so which is front view. Taking the front view, just because of we moved towards up, it is here positioned in the up. So now I'm changing the pivot point only. I'm not moving the geometry but the pivot point. So move it, okay. So right now I changed the position. You don't have to look what happened here. I'll explain later. So all you have to know is I moved the pivot point in the middle now, in the bottom now. So now if I go to perspective view and try to like turn on the snap tool, and now if I snap, boom, boom, see, it snapped on the grid. Likewise, you can snap to primitive, to points, and multiple. So what is primitive and what is point, I will tell you in the coming classes. And there is also one thing, there is two more, which are polygon and vertices. People who knows 3D application before, like Blender, 3ds Max, it's the same thing, but who are new to the 3D world, I will explain what is all primitive polygon vertices are.
Likewise, you can also snap accordingly. If there is a point here, you can just snap there to make things easier. Like instead of moving manually, like go here, go up. So if there is a point somewhere around here, um, if you have a point, and then if you want to move this object to here, you enable this one, so it snapped to directly to the point, right? So that's it about the viewport basically.